Good morning again, seventh grade math. It's still Thursday, October 29th, 2020, and we're still continuing down the path. Lesson 3-5. We're going to go ahead and do the guided practice. I've set the first four problems up on my graph scratch paper here. Excuse me. So let's start with number one. Negative 0.9. And this is a division problem. 0.72. Now remember, when we divide decimals, we have to make sure this guy, the divisor, is a whole number. So we move the decimal point to the right one place. So essentially, we're dividing 72 by 9. And that's going to be 8. 8 times 9 is 72. So we have no remainder. That's 8/10, though. 8/10. And in math, typically they'll put, it's negative too, 0.8. Just to let you know there's no whole number in front of the 8/10. Number two, we have the complex fractions, negative 1/5 divided by 7/5. So we're going to put this guy here, divided by 7/5. And remember, I have to flip the divisor, negative 1/5 times 5/7. And before I start, I like to make life easier for myself. So I'm going to factor out a 5. And that'll become 1. So I have negative 1 times 1, which is negative 1. 1 times 7, which is 7. Negative 1/7. Okay. Number 3, 56 divided by negative 7. Okay. You should all have your multiplication tables from 1 to 12 to automaticity. If not, and we all know that 56 divided by 7 is 8. Since the 7 is negative and the 56 is positive, that's going to be a negative 8. Number 4, excuse me. So this guy here, we have 251/4 divided by 3/8. So I'm going to have to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. 251/4 divided by, times 8/3. So I'm going to look diagonally, and I'm going to say, okay, I can factor out a 4 here. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now, 251 is a big number. But I'm going to show you a little trick. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. Therefore, it's not divisible by 3. You see how I got that? So now I'm going to have to multiply 251 times 2, which is going to be 502 over 3. And that's going to be negative. Now I can turn this into a mixed number, but I'm going to leave it just the way it is. So negative 502 over 3. Let's continue down this road. Number 5, 75 divided by 1/5. Negative. Number 6, negative 91 divided by negative 13. 7. Negative 3 over 7 divided by 9 over 4. And number 8. 12 divided by negative 0.03. So I'm going to go all the way up here. I'll start this guy. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to flip the divisor, 75 over 1 times negative 5 over 1. So now I'm just going to multiply straight across. 5 times 5 is 25. Put a 2 there, 37. Negative 375 over 1. Final answer, negative 375. Now, I'm going to check that answer. Because I like checking answers. 75 divided by 1 divided by 5 equals 375. I really apologize. I've been stopping quite a bit during this recording session. I'm finding it cold. And it's a cold. It's not COVID. So I have negative 91 divided by negative 13. So 13, 91. So when you see a number like this, you know, these aren't common. I think it's going to be 7. Now, why do I think it's going to be 7? Well, because 7 times 3 is 21. That gives me the 1 in the ones column. So let's see if that's right. 13 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21. Put the 1 there, a 2 there. 7 times 1 is 7, and 2 more is 9. So it is. The answer is 7. Number 7. Negative 3 over 7 divided by 9 over 4. So I'm going to flip the divisor. And I'm going to turn it into a multiplication problem. Times 4 over 9. Now I can factor the 3 out here. I'll do that. I'm going to factor this guy. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now I'll just multiply straight across. So I have 1 times 4, which is 4. 7 times 3, which is 21. And 1 is a negative and 1 is a positive. Therefore, the quotient is going to be negative. So, negative 4 over 21. And last but not least, for this worksheet, or for this scratch paper, 12 divided by 0.03. 0.03 divided by 12. So remember what I told you, I have to move this decimal place 2 places over. And when I do that, I'm going to have to add 2 zeros. So now we can do the division. 3 will go into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. And I have 2 zeros. The quotient is 400. Negative 400. Okay. So we have some word problems here. Highlighter. A water pail in your backyard has a small hole in it. You notice that it has drained a total of 3.5 liters in 4 days. What is the average volume, average change in water volume each day? Well, So 3.5 divided by 4. Okay. So that's going to be 8 3/4. So remember, I've got the 3.5 there, right? So 0.875. I got a feeling that's what I would come up with. Okay, let's continue. Number 10. You know, I notice when a lot of people do math, they make it really hard for themselves. Let's not. I have 45 and 75, and I'm going to divide that by 5. Well, you know 5 will go on to 45 9 times. And you know 5 will go on to 7 1 time with 2 left over. And you know that 5 will go into 25 5 times. Don't make life so difficult. Okay? It's just division. So if I were to add this 5 times, 9 and 15, I would get 45 and 75. Okay? Number 11. To avoid a storm, a passenger jet pilot descended 44 hundredths of a mile in 8/10 of a minute. What is the change of altitude per minute? So 0.44 divided by 0.8. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this into a fraction, a division problem. 0.8, 0.44. So I'm going to have to move the decimal place one place over. When I do that part, I have to do that part. Now, 8 will go into 44 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract 40 from 44, I get 4. Bring down another 0, I get 8. So 58 hundredths mile per minute. But you're telling me that he dropped down 44 hundredths of a mile in 8/10 of a minute. Well, remember, this is going to keep going. This isn't the full minute. We still have 2/10 left. So 58 hundredths of a mile per minute. Let's see what we have here. Explain how you would find the sign of the quotient. 32 divided by -2 all over 16 divided by -16 divided by 4. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is do the division. 32 divided by -2 is -16. -16 divided by 4 is -4. So when you've simplified this guy, now you have an argument that you can win. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and it's going to be a positive. It's going to be a positive. And just remember, every day of your life, be positive. It'll amaze some people, and it'll confuse the heck out of others. Again, remember today's code word is achieves. Achieves. Have a nice day.